everyone, welcome back to Nurse Katherine here, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my new studio here behind me. I'm currently sitting on my couch, which you guys will see in tomorrow's video, in my apartment tour video, which I'm so excited to do and show you guys what my apartment looks like and just what I was able to piece together, because almost every piece of furniture in this house came from Facebook Marketplace, and I had a budget of $2,500 on getting everything into my house, and that included a mattress and a couch and chair and coffee table and side table and desk and dining room table and chairs. So that was a little bit of a disaster, kind of, not really, but make sure you're watching tomorrow because I'm taking you on an apartment tour of my 961 square foot apartment here in Atlanta with a good budget. But anyways, today's video is a question and answer kind of video, which I don't think I've ever done one of these before, which I'm very excited to do this because I did get a lot of questions. Maybe a lot of them, some of them came from my sister, thank you Carrie, because she's amazing and just asks a ton of questions, but I do have other questions from other people. So I want to go through these questions here. It was on Instagram that I posted that, and then I also posted on YouTube as well, which I don't think I got any questions on there, so I'm going to check here real quick. With these are personal questions, these are nursing related, these are on the basis of the COVID vaccine, which I'm so excited to answer that. I had a nursing friend ask me about that who does not work bedside nursing. She actually does a whole nother kind of nursing I didn't even know was possible. So it's pretty cool. So that is about the COVID vaccine and my thoughts on that for a low risk population. So I am going to get through that one. That's probably going to be the last question I answer because that's the most in-depth answer of all of these. But anyways, let's get started, and let me start with a nursing question because that's what this channel is all about. So the first question I got was from the Instagram handle called the Hand21. I believe this person is also in nursing school. I'm pretty sure they are because they always are in my live NCLEX reviews on Mondays. So the hand asked, what made you choose nursing? So I don't really think I chose nursing. It kind of chose me. You know how everyone says that. But my mom is a nurse, my aunt is a nurse. They're actually identical twins, went to nursing school together, both became nurses at the exact same time, all of that. So I grew up in a nursing family, and that was like typical dinner time talk was nursing. It was just like, oh, nursing stuff, nursing stuff. It was always about the medical field, like gross, gruesome talk at dinner time. And I kind of struggle with that now, not gonna lie, not that I would lie, but about talking like that at dinner time talks, especially with my husband's family, and they just kind of look at me and they're like, I'm like, I'm sorry, I forgot none of you are medical. But some of them, my brother-in-law is becoming a nurse. He just got accepted into an accelerated program. So there's someone I can talk about some gruesome stuff with. But I really did like the aspect of nursing with the helping people and just helping people at the weakest time in their life. I initially wanted to become a pediatric oncology nurse. That's what I thought in high school, so kids with cancer. And that's what I always wanted to do, which I still find an interest in it. And I love kiddos and I love working with them, but they are scary to work with. I get scared of all the calculations and stuff like that. So I don't think I will ever go that route one day, but that is why I chose nursing / why it chose me and / I just grew up in that field. The next one I think would be a great one to touch on is how to pick the best nursing school. So I actually just met with a girl down here in Atlanta. She's a high school student. I met her mom at church, which then her mom introduced me to her, and she wants to go into nursing school, and I'm so excited for her. But the best way to choose a nursing school is don't get into debt. Do not make the mistake of going into debt and taking out a loan to get a degree, you don't even know if you're going to get that degree. I went $8,000 to $10,000, I think it was $10,000 in debt, and that was one semester, okay, just one semester. Failed that semester and had to retake that semester and pay another 10 grand. So then I was 20 grand in the hole, and I didn't even know if I was going to finish nursing school. So tip number one, don't go into debt over nursing school. Tip number two, big universities and colleges are not always the best places to go to nursing school because there's not as much one-on-one care and experience. So what I did for this girl in Georgia here that I met with, I ranked the top associate degree nursing programs and the top BSN programs in Georgia from 1 to 10 with the highest NCLEX and school passing rate. Those are the schools you want to look for. You don't want to go to a school that only has a 50% NCLEX passing rate. They are not preparing their students adequately to take boards one day, and ultimately you can be 60 grand in the hole after going to a huge university, but if they have a terrible NCLEX passing rate and they don't prepare their students to pass NCLEX, there goes 60 grand that you could have made your first year of nursing, but you can't even make because you can't pass your boards. So that is my biggest tip. Do not go into debt to get your nursing degree. You can work while you are going to school and make money while you are going to school, or put it off for another year and make that money before you go to school and then do it. I was 30, I think I only took out 20 something in loans, and I would never have done it again. But there was $10,000 of interest on my student loans by the time I went to pay them off, and it just caused so many problems. Between me and my husband in our marriage, I didn't even know how much debt I was in, and then we looked at it and it was a big deal. So do not go into debt. That is my rant on that about nursing school. So next, okay, this was probably one of my favorite ones. This is from my best friend up in Pennsylvania. She said, "Are you French? Because I fell for you." Meaning, I fell like Eiffel, because Eiffel for you. She's such a loony. But thank you for that, Vanessa. Anyways, let's go on to a more personal one. Since I've been talking about my husband, someone asked, how long have you been married and how did you meet? So I've been married for 3 years. On January 5th, we celebrated 3 years of marriage. We got married in 2018, and we met on a blind double date. My husband and I kind of knew of each other in high school. I think I knew his name, but I thought he was a different person, actually. So I thought, yeah, I just totally thought he was a different person. So we kind of knew each other, kind of didn't. He went to a different school halfway through high school in 10th grade. So we graduated at the same time, but not at the same school. My friend wanted to date my other friend, so I was like, all right, well, you have to bring me a date. So that guy friend brought me my now husband. So all of us ended up getting married. It was a blind double date success. And we did meet back in Pennsylvania, our hometown, and we were from the same area as well. So that is how we met and how long we've been dating. But then I also was asked what I missed most about Pennsylvania, and I literally cried about this the other day, and it's my nephews. I miss my nephews so much, and I have 3 nephews now. My other sister just had a little baby as well. So my oldest biological sister has 2 sons, and then my stepsister, who is the same age as me, has a little boy now as well. And I miss them so much. So the oldest nephew of mine, Henry, I am obsessed with him slightly. I love being with him. And this whole past year, my schedule, I was working 12-hour shifts, and on my off days I would spend with my mom, who babysat my nephews, and I would just love it. So I've spent so much time with him, especially because he's the oldest, that it was so hard leaving Pennsylvania just for that reason. I've left Pennsylvania before. My first year of nursing school, I left Pennsylvania, but it wasn't that hard because I was like, oh, you're all adults, we can FaceTime, all that kind of stuff, we can Skype, but it's just different with kids and I miss them. So that's what I miss most about Pennsylvania. And my sister probably knew I was gonna say that. She's the one who asked that question. I did get a question just recently on Instagram. I posted a last minute Q&A, and this was from Ali Lee Lexa. It's a really long Instagram handle. It says, if we are undecided on what field we want to be in nursing-wise, what field do you suggest? So this is really hard because not everybody likes bedside nursing and not everybody is made for bedside nursing. But I do suggest going into bedside med-surg nursing if you are undecided, because if you go into a specialty right away, you're kind of stuck in that specialty. You always can go back to med-surg, I feel like. Even if you don't have experience in med-surg, you can always go right back. But if you're, let's say, a pediatric nurse, and now you want to be an adult ICU nurse, that's not really going to correlate too well. But med-surg going to the ER, med-surg going to ICU, med-surg going to MICU, med-surg going to office clinic nursing, that is a good field to go into. And it's not the prettiest of the fields, and it's definitely not the easiest of them, which I don't think there's really any easy bedside nursing job. But that's where I definitely suggest you would go into, and what would be best for you to transition to a career you see further down the line. All right, so the rest of these aren't really nursing related besides that vaccine one, which is not necessarily nursing related. It's kind of personal and medical related. So I am going to go through the rest of these personal ones, and then I will get to the vaccine because that's going to be my longest answer. But I'm gonna make this really short and sweet because this video is getting pretty long. So my favorite food, I would say probably strawberries. I love fruit, any kind of fruit. I love mangoes, especially the mangoes in Jamaica. I went to Jamaica on my honeymoon, and those were the best mangoes I've ever eaten in my entire life. They were amazing. Plans for growth in 2021. My plan for growth in 2021, personally, is to read a book every single month. I am just about to finish Rachel Cruz's book, Love Your Life, not theirs, I'm looking at it right now to read it to you. And it's about money habits and debt and getting out of debt and staying out of debt and saving for a house one day, and do you pay cash for a house or do you take a mortgage out? All that kind of stuff. So that is what I am reading about now. I have 2 chapters left. I think I have 15 pages left. I started midway through January. So I'm just about to finish that. Then I am starting a new book that I'll finish by the end of February. And then career-wise is to grow my YouTube channel. I've been doing a lot with YouTube recently. Obviously, I've been posting every single day, but then also growing in my new career as being a transplant clinic nurse. So just learning what that even means and what my skill set will be and what kind of medications I'll be giving at clinic and infusions, and it's just going to be a lot different from what I'm used to. So just growing in that and seeing where I can hold positions at work and committees that I can be on, all that kind of stuff. And then eventually, of course, trying to get a raise, because that would be awesome because the cost of living here in Atlanta is horrendous. So yeah, that would be great too. Let's see, I keep looking back at that "Are you French" joke and it's cracking me up. Best part of Georgia so far is the weather. I'm so happy I'm not in Pennsylvania because they just got over a foot of snow and they're supposed to get more, so I am so happy I'm not doing the snow. Okay, so what does God call you to do daily? Well, as a Christian, I know that the Bible does tell me that I need to share the gospel with other people, so I do try to do that every single day I can, because what's better than sharing the good news? The gospel, the good news. That's their name. The gospel and the good news, the same thing. So I feel like it would be wrong of me not to share the gospel with someone when it's the truth, and how awful of me, and this might sound harsh, but this is true Christianity. Why would I not share something with someone that could potentially save them from going to hell? Isn't it so much better to help plant the seeds that God may convert them to being a true Christian and going to heaven? Why would I not be that seed planter that I'm called to be and share the gospel with someone, and hopefully that is in their line of them being saved by God? Because when it gets really down and deep into it, it is very sad just knowing people that aren't saved and then thinking about them dying one day knowing that they won't go to heaven. So yeah, why would I not share that information? So that's what I'm called to every day, and it's very hard. It's a very hard line to walk, and being a Christian is not easy. No one ever said it was, and it is not easy at all. And then of course reading every single day, and that's just wanting to have a deeper relationship with God. And I think as a true Christian, you should want a deeper relationship with God, and I think that's just the fruit of the Spirit of being saved and having the Holy Spirit, is that you have that desire to deepen your relationship with God. And the next question kind of goes with that. Where do you fall on the subject of dressing modestly, and what are your go-to stores? I can't see the rest of that, but I think it probably says to shop at. So on the subject of modesty, I actually have become more modest over the past couple of years. I was saved in 2013, but from that point I've become more modest, and especially now that I have a husband, I'm actually, or even before I had a husband, even when we were dating and prior to that, I was very modest, but not entirely. So where I fall on the line is that the Bible says that my body is a temple and the Spirit lives within me. So I don't want to put my body out there to be an object to be looked at, and to be lusted over. So obviously everyone deals with lusting over other people, and I don't want to put myself out there to be lusted at unless it's my husband. So like the other day going to church, I had my shirt tucked into my jeans, and they were high-waisted jeans, and I was like, I think this is showing too much. Like my jeans were just like almost too tight, and I didn't like how tight it was around my backside, but I was like, but it's a really cute outfit. And then I asked my husband, and he's like, is that what you're wearing to church today? Like, let's get ready to go. And I was like, yeah, but I don't know if this is appropriate or not. And he's like, yeah, if I were a different man at church, I would look at you and be like, why is she wearing that? That's drawing too much attention. And I put a long cardigan over that went down to my knees, and that was that. So I look to my husband as well for dressing modestly and what he thinks, and I don't wear a two-piece bikini anymore. I do wear a one-piece, and I don't wear a one-piece that's going halfway up my butt. I guess you could just say that. So yeah, so I don't want to show my body off, because I don't want people to look at me and be like, oh, that's the first thing they see. I want people to be like, something's different about her, and then eventually see, oh, she's filled with the Holy Spirit. That's where I fall into dressing modestly, and I don't wear low-cut tops. Gym clothes is kind of hard. I don't wear sports bras and like high-waisted leggings. I won't do that. I won't just wear a sports bra. I've been wearing t-shirts more often now. I normally think if I'm not going to wear it to church, then I'm not going to wear it in public. That's typically how I decide what I'm going to buy and what I am going to wear every single day. All right, and last one, before we get to the vaccine one, is Inspo board for your new home. So as you guys can see, I have a teal couch. Literally, it is a teal couch and I am loving it. And I have a black wall back there. And yeah, it's very, it's kind of dark, but I love the mid-century modern vintage feel. Not mid-century modern feel. Mid-century modern vintage. It's a thing. Look at it on Pinterest. It's really cool. I like antiques, and I really think that's so neat, and just antiques and old furniture. So I tried to go with that feel, but also more of that mid-century feel, which are kind of antiques as well. So just that design style. Not everything in here matches that. I was on a pretty strict budget when furnishing this place. I got a chair from Goodwill and stuff like that. So I like minimalism, and I like that mid-century modern vintage feel. Okay, now let's get to the most in-depth one, but I'm gonna try to keep this short and sweet, and that is about the COVID vaccine and what I think about it for low-risk people. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with saying my husband just got over COVID, and he did the whole CDC guidelines of quarantining and stuff like that. So he just got over COVID. I spent the whole time with him in this apartment. We were kissing, like nothing changed in our lives when he had COVID. He had headaches and like very mild symptoms. Really bad lower back pain, which was very different compared to what I have seen this whole last year in the hospital, because I was in the COVID only area for like 4 or 5 months. So that was very different. But my opinion, my educated opinion on the COVID vaccine for low risk people is do your research simply on CDC. So I'm gonna read a few things here for you, and I'm gonna actually try to screen share this. And this is why I think it's very non-needed. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say non-needed. I shouldn't say that. So it's very, I don't want to even say personal, because that's such a overused phrase right now for getting the vaccine. It's such a personal opinion. It's such a personal thing. It's really not. It's said and done what information is out there, and I guess it is. If you trust the information out there, then go for it. If you don't get it. I will say, I'm not getting it. I am not getting the COVID vaccine. And this is why, and this is directly from the CDC website, and this is, I'll explain my opinion behind after why I read this. Okay, so I had to pull out my computer because I saved this page from the CDC the other day. And this is cdc.gov/coronavirus/2019/ncov/vaccine/more information. I will post the link below, and this is why I am not getting the vaccine. The reason I'm not is simply based on what the CDC is currently saying about the vaccine. So the first topic I want to address is, they say, this is our frequently asked questions. So, which lasts longer, immunity after getting COVID-19 or protection from COVID-19 vaccines? I will say, when my husband just had COVID-19 this past week, he had mild symptoms. I had absolutely nothing, like nothing at all. So I'm pretty sure either I've been exposed to it before, or I had it last week. I never got tested. I quarantined with him, yes, all of that. But am I more protected now because I might have already had it? I probably did have it, and he's had it. Or am I going to be more protected now that I have the or if I would get the vaccine? So this is what it says. Current evidence suggests that getting the virus again, reinfection, is uncommon in the 90 days after the first infection with the virus that causes COVID-19. Okay, so they don't actually know. There's my first point. They don't know. So this is where it goes then. We won't know how long immunity lasts after vaccination until we have more data on how well COVID-19 vaccines work in real-world conditions. So they don't even know how long your immunity is with the vaccine that people are getting right now. So why am I going to get a vaccine when it could only work for 2 or 3 weeks, and then it's not gonna do me any good. They don't know how long the immunity lasts. Why would I get it if they don't even know? Is it a lifelong immunity? They have no idea. Is it for 2 days? They have no idea. So that is simply from what the CDC says. I'm going strictly off of what the CDC says. Okay, and this is where I get to my rant of vaccine safety, and this is all off of the CDC website, so don't say I'm a conspiracy theorist or anything like that. This is my personal opinion on vaccine safety based off of what I'm reading off of the CDC website. So are COVID-19 vaccines safe? All in all, it says that they are safe. The FDA has granted emergency use authorization for COVID-19 vaccines. It says it has gone through rigorous studies to ensure they are as safe as possible. Of course, being as safe as possible because they have not gone through year-long studies because it hasn't been out that long. So all in all, it says as safe as possible. They don't actually know because they didn't do year-long studies like most vaccines, which sketches me out. Then I go to, is it safe for me to get a COVID-19 vaccine if I'm pregnant or breastfeeding? People who are pregnant and a part of a group recommended to receive the COVID-19 vaccine may choose to be vaccinated. If you have questions about getting vaccinated, talk with your healthcare provider, While breastfeeding is an important consideration, it is really a safety concern with vaccines. Here we go. No data are available yet on the safety of COVID-19 vaccines in lactating women or on the effects of mRNA vaccines on breastfeeding infants or on milk production excretion. mRNA vaccines are not thought to be a risk to breastfeeding infants. People who are breastfeeding and are a part of a group recommended to receiving a COVID vaccine, such as healthcare personnel, may choose to be vaccinated. Did you hear any of that? No data is available. I'm not going to be a target group. No, I am not pregnant. I am not breastfeeding, but I would like to be pregnant, God willing, one day. And I would like to breastfeed my child, God willing, one day. So I just don't feel safe with any of that. And then you get to this, and this is, I'm just not wanting to be a part of a clinical trial if I were to get pregnant. I would love to be pregnant one day, God willing, and I am not practicing abstinence either. I am married. So I could get pregnant any month, and I'm just not willing to risk this. It says, to make sure that more information is gathered regarding the safety of these vaccines when administered during pregnancy, pregnant people are encouraged to enroll in V-Safe, CDC's new smartphone-based tool being used to check in on people's health after they receive a COVID vaccine. If pregnant people report health events through V-Safe after vaccination, someone from the CDC may call to check on them and get more information. Additionally, pregnant people enrolled in V-Safe will be contacted by CDC and asked to participate in a pregnancy registry that will monitor them through pregnancy and the first 3 months of infancy. Like, that just does not sound like anything I would ever want to participate in. I could be pregnant now. I don't think I am, but I could be. And I could be pregnant anytime. So if I were to be practicing abstinence, that would not be something that I would be worried about. But for those of you who are low risk and want to be pregnant one day, or who are pregnant, that's the kind of information I would want to look at. What is the safety? Well, you don't know. They don't know because they didn't do the studies behind it. So I know that was super long. I'm really sorry for my super long, drawn out story about COVID vaccines, but that's why I'm not getting it. And that's how I feel about for low risk people. And I think it's a very, of course, personal opinion and personal choice that you want to make about getting a COVID vaccine, because are you going to inject this into you or are you not going to inject this into you? And I think that it is very personal, but going based off of what they do not know and not knowing the safety, that's how I feel for people who are low risk. That's how I feel even for people who are high risk. It doesn't even matter to me if you're low or high risk. That's just how I feel. So that is it, guys. That is my Q&A for today. Thank you if you stuck around this entire time. I wouldn't blame you if you just skipped to the end about the COVID vaccine. I probably would do the same thing. But that was my Q&A today. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you stay tuned for tomorrow because I'm taking you on an apartment tour. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button right now to stay subscribed to more videos coming out every single week. Alright guys, I will see you in tomorrow's video.